In the most recent patch 12.12, tier 1 and tier 2 ammo, it is a little bit harder to get. The first reason is because it is impossible to get it from the flea market, because no one can buy it or sell it, which means you have to find it found or from the corpses of your enemies. And number 2, even if you can get really good ammo from the vendors or of the flea, it costs over 1000 rubles per shot, which means if you die with multiple magazines in the raid, you're gonna lose a lot of currency. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, dear Scrap. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Eroktic, and today I'm gonna teach you how to properly prepare your character for the raid. This right here, don't do that. You're wasting way too much money. In case if you die, you're gonna lose what? 120 BS rounds for what? When you can separate, when you can split those BS rounds across multiple different raids. Hey Siri, how much is 120 times 1300?
120 times 1,300 is 156,000.
That's how much money I just loaded in case if you didn't know. But anyways, one of the oldest tricks in the Tarkov book has been brought by me. As soon as I started to notice that ammunition is getting more and more expensive, I started with the method that I like to call... I didn't even have any name for that because it was just a normal thing for me to do. But pretty much the method that I was using is I was putting trash ammunition on the bottom of the magazine and then good rounds on top. In this scenario, I am putting PP rounds on the bottom and BS rounds on the top. And if you do that, if you split that, you will not waste 150,000 rubles worth of the ammunition. You're gonna lose twice less. And let's be real, if you do not kill a guy in the first 10 bullets, you're gonna be dead pretty much. You see, the reason why this method is so effective is because you can manipulate with good and bad rounds. I'm using this method for many years, and not even one single time I was like, holy shit, I died because of it. It's simply not the case. And by the way, if you hear some kind of rumors about gun malfunctioning and weapon jamming with using this method, no, they're just using trash-ass, fake-ass guns, you know? If they're using one of those boys, man, guns don't jam. Speaking about malfunctions, there is a really cool trick that you can do where you can fully fix the weapon malfunction with one button. It is a little bit hard to explain, so let me just model something real quick. Okay, so you put inspect weapon on press X and check chamber fix malfunction on release. So once when that yellow thingy on the bottom starts to blink, you're ready to release it. But you see, other people are not the only threat in Tarkov. Tarkov is PvE game, which means that you're gonna need to kill scavs also. And killing scavs with tier 1 and tier 2 ammo is just fucking retarded. I would strongly encourage you to have at least one magazine for PvE only, which means magazine that will have trash-ass ammo so you can kill scavs for pretty much nothing. It is kinda not worth it to dump one bullet in a scav, and I do not even want to talk about when the server doesn't work and does not register first 20 bullets out of your magazine. So having at least one magazine for PvE only is a really smart thing to do. And if you're wondering how to know which magazine is for PvP and which magazine is for PvE in the raid, don't worry, there are multiple different ways how to manipulate and how to load in the proper magazine. First way of knowing which magazine is for PvP and which one is not is if you're insuring your gear, you should insure your whole gear except that magazine that is used for PvE. If you're one of those that do not like to insure your gear, guess what? You can insure just the magazine that you will use for PvE. The another way that you can use is you can tag the magazine. I do not like this method because if you drop your rig, for example, if you're gonna replace your rig or whatever the hell, the tag will be gone. It's a bug. I do not know why it is. So I would not encourage you to have this as your main way of knowing which magazine is for PvE and for PvP. And the last method is, of course, purchasing a different magazine than the one that you're usually using. Now the question is, how to load in the correct magazine for the different scenarios. When you're inside of the raid, when you're holding R button and scroll the mouse wheel, you're gonna get the new options on top of your screen, where you can select with the scroll wheel, with the mouse scroll wheel, which magazine you wanna put inside weapon. Which means if you get the aggro from the scav, for example, you have time to disengage a little bit, swap the correct magazine, dump that mag in scavs, and then reload back and get your weapon ready for the PvP encounter.
Сука ты, блядь, не упырь, блядь, гнида, блядь. На, блядь, на. На, блядь, жри, сука. Вот он,
I'm not wasting my BS rounds on you assholes. Pui! Oh, and by the way, did you notice what I did on the end? Since I was using PvE ammunition, I do not want that PvE ammo to be inside of my chamber. So I cleaned up my chamber to have a good tier 1 round inside of it.
Eroktic, this is all great and all, but I do not have that much time. I need to be in the school in 2 hours, and your technique is not fast. I am going on a pistol run, Eroktic.
Can you watch the whole tutorial before spitting trash-ass comments in my comment section? Huh? Which is gonna bring us to our next topic, time efficiency. I hate to agree with Little Billy, but he is correct. It is much easier to fill up one magazine with one type of the ammo than holding the control click and splitting the stacks in half. There is a solution though, and that is filling up multiple magazines at once. You can also do multiple insurances at once to prepare your magazines for multiple raids at once. And of course, you can also stack up multiple different magazines for PvP. Just don't have them in the same magazine box because you're gonna get confused. So I would also strongly encourage you to get additional box. Once when you get into the groove, it is not that difficult. By the way, about PvP magazine stacking, do not overdo it because you need some extra ammo to put in your pouch. So that was my little quick tutorial on how to properly do the milkshake that is gonna save you millions and millions of rubles. Trust me. Like I said, I'm doing this method for a long time. I do not know how hard it is to adapt, but Tarkov is a really advanced game where the knowledge and efficiency is everything, and this is pretty efficient method of doing it. I hope that you guys learned something new. Subscribe for more. Love you all, and see you in the next one. I'm live on twitch.tv/Eroktic, also you should check it out right now.